Hey, 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 woo! Yeah, yeah. And welcome back to Kings of Influence, the podcast where we talk about social media outrage and really anything else you want to talk about. I am your one half of your host, Ray William Johnson.
I am your other half of the host, Epic Lloyd, and we are here on Wednesdays at noon, every Wednesday, Pacific Standard Time. Live, coming to you in the nitty-gritty from my sweaty back office.
Woo! Also, where can you find us as of... where can you find us as of today?
Yeah, big news, you guys.
Big
as
news.
of today, our YouTube page is live. We have been talking about this for a while. We've been talking about this podcast for a while. And YouTube was always going to be a part of it. It's our first homes and where we probably became the most known at first. And we are live now. The YouTube page is and the link in all the comments there, but it's bit.ly/Kings of Influence. You got to put a dot. It's bit.ly, so bit.ly/Kings of Influence.
Kings of Influence. That's our YouTube page. Go there. Be the first comment. If you want to play the first game, that's always a fun game to play. And we will give you a hug.
Yeah, we'll give you a digital hug, Wi-Fi.
In my mind. Wi-Fi, I love it.
Wi-Fi.
I love it.
Kimmy Gatewood, I have to give credit for that one. She's a friend of mine. She played Hillary Clinton, and she played Marilyn Monroe in the rap battles, and she's on Glow now.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, exactly. And she said Wi-Fi in a right.
She's on Glow? Wait,
she's on Glow.
Which character is she on Glow? Is
she
one of the biddies?
One of the old ladies.
Yeah, one of the biddies.
Yeah.
I was thinking that. It would have to be.
Yeah.
That's funny because Wax is friends with the girl who plays...
Yeah, I know her. I just met her the other night, like the sort of...
The Beverly Hills.
Yeah, the New York City girl kind of.
Yeah.
She's great.
Cool. Let's jump right into it because we got some big stuff.
Getting right into it.
Guys, you ready for this? Check this out.
All right, here we go.
Boom. So there's a YouTuber, a makeup beauty blogger young lady named Laura Lee, and this week some drama erupted.
Drama?
We are in drama land, even though I'd like to believe that we are not a YouTube drama podcast.
Yeah.
So anytime we talk about YouTube drama and it gets a little gossipy, I want to call it out because it's not the kind of podcast I want to be.
Fair
enough. But that's what we're going to do this week. So Laura Lee, some racist tweets were uncovered from her past, back from 2012.
Okay.
And she has been forced to apologize after she lost hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, which is, I guess, very important to her.
Yeah.
And so... These tweets, these may be, we look at some questionable tweets, right?
Uh-huh.
These are probably the most racist we've seen.
Most racist tweets.
More racist than Roseanne, more racist than any of the other people any of the other tweets that we've seen.
We should have some sort of award based on the podcast we've been doing for the last few weeks. We should have some sort of award for the most racist tweets.
The racies?
Yeah. God.
God, that's terrible.
It's not funny.
That's terrible. No,
funny.
That's not funny, guys. Stop laughing. You're terrible. Okay, let's look at some of these bad boys really quick, and we can judge.
So she's a YouTuber, and she's like
she's a makeup girl.
So she's
a blogger. I don't want to diminish that.
Okay, so she does like makeup tutorials and like.
Let's get her picture.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so that's her picture.
Okay, all right. You're already suspect.
You can already see that she. You can already see that she is or seems like a YouTube beauty vlogger.
But it's that type of selfie, man.
You're not into that?
She's beautiful, but you can see. I don't know. I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but she's already suspect.
We should spend the whole podcast picking apart the way she looks. Because that will make us really good people.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I have no issue with the way anyone looks. But I just wanted to pull up a picture for reference.
All right.
And
you're kinder than me.
All right, let's look at some of these tweets. Here we go. Boom. There's one. Tip for all the black people: if you pull your pants up, you can run from the police faster. # You're welcome. That's really bad.
God,
that's really bad.
How do you do that? How do you be typing? How do you be on your phone and not read that back and just take a second? Now, I assume that this is from a few years ago.
This is from 2012. So yeah, all of these are old. All of these are old.
And someone dug them up. So, did she? Okay, here's the questions that we have to ask ourselves every week.
Sure.
Did she delete them?
Probably.
Did she already apologize for them earlier than when they were surfaced?
Probably not. Not from what I could see.
And how old was she? Not that it matters, but if she's like an 11-year-old kid, like you're a kid and you're stupid.
So I think she's 30 now. So I think
30.
she would have been 24. She would have been an adult.
Nope. You don't get any leeway from me on that one.
All right, let's go to number 2. How do you blindfold a Chinese person? Put floss over their eyes.
Boy.
No. Hashtag dumb gook. No, that's really bad. That's probably the worst one I saw. It's
I think I had seen that tweet before, and I just didn't read the hashtag.
I've heard that joke before. It's not even her joke, first of all.
I mean, I've heard that joke before, and it's not. It's honestly, a Asian person told me that joke. They didn't tell it to me, but I heard it. So I mean, I've heard that before, but the hashtag's awful. That just got real. Like what a
no. The hashtag is like, so if you're trying to do this edgy, Dave Chappelle type humor, which in the 2000s, not in the 2010s or wherever, but during that time, that's kind of the humor people were doing. Not this garbage, but like versions of it, better versions of it, right?
Yeah.
So if you're trying to do that, even in 2012, which makes you a little bit late, but if you're trying to do that, I get it. And I get that was kind of what was going on at the time. Like, I get the mentality.
Yeah.
But then when you hashtag it with, things like dumb, like the name calling, the racial slurs, then it's like, dude, what are you doing? It's any argument that you had that this was a joke is completely wiped out by the fact that you hashtagged it with the racial slur.
And this to me says that because of that hashtag, it says like probably someone annoyed her or she got angry at something that somebody did, or you know what I mean? Like it feels like a tweet made out of anger or out of a situation, and that's almost even more scary. Like I don't know, like someone cut her off, or someone said something rude to her, or she saw somebody doing something. That's terrible. And then you know what? Like that shit doesn't go away. Like I don't know where she's from or what
she's from Alabama.
Okay, well,
which I have a story about Alabama that I want to tell, but it has the N-word in it, and I have to tell it using the N-word for it to be the story that I experienced. So I won't tell it if you don't want me to, but it's a story. It's an anecdote. It's really quick.
All right, go for it.
You want to do it?
I mean, I guess so.
Okay. Well, let's look at this other tweet, and then we can talk about it. Well, I'll tell you that story. So here's one. This is recent. Skinny guy with a six-pack is like fat chick with tits. It doesn't count.
So she's a well-rounded asshole.
Yeah. No, I think she just has a mean, shitty sense of humor.
She's just, and I feel like this is the type of thing where...
Or had.
Yeah.
I will say had, because it was 6 years ago.
I feel like if you're a YouTuber, if you're a social media star, and amidst all of this news that's going on right now, if you tweeted that back in the day, you don't like forget you said some shit like that, you need to be like, first of all, delete it. Secondly, come out and be like, hey, look, guys, I'm 30 years old now. I've been doing this. I'm so thankful for all of this experience that you guys have given me and all of this exposure and all of this fame. I need to be honest with you about something. Back in the day, I've deleted them a long time ago, but I made some really dumb tweets way back in the day, and I don't want them to get unsurfaced without you guys knowing that I'm apologetic about them. If you are a YouTuber out there or a Instagrammer or a TV star or any of that shit, you should be doing that right now.
I mean, yeah.
You should not like...
write out your apology beforehand.
Yeah, or even just like get ahead of it because you did it.
Yeah.
It's out there. That was a part of you for a second.
I assume so, yeah.
And I think I even saw something about her, something about her apology where she was like, I was living in Alabama and I wasn't exposed to that.
Yeah.
I wasn't exposed to diversity and now I am. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know.
Let me tell you my Alabama story really quick, and then we'll talk about her apology, because I have that too. So I have one experience in Alabama, right? And that was when I played a club down there. I did stand up in a club down there. So I go to this club, and I'm about to go on, and I'm waiting in the green room, right? And when you're in a green room doing stand up, like they have a waiter come and talk to you and everything, and they ask you for your order, like if you're going to order any food or drinks, and they ask you what you want your walk-up music to be. My walk-up music is always Watch the Throne, Jay-Z, Kanye West.
Yeah.
And the way I pitch it is N-words in Paris.
Right, you tell them that. Yeah.
Yeah, N-words in Paris, because, there's no reason to like say the full thing.
It's completely acceptable to say that.
Yeah.
And everybody understands what's going on. You don't have to use the language.
Right.
There's no reason. You don't have to hang your hat on it.
So this waitress comes back and she's like, okay, can I get your order? I said, sure. I'll have like a burger, fries. She's like, okay, what's your walk-up music? I said, my walk-up music is, Jay-Z, N-words in Paris. And she goes, okay, that's a burger, fries, and this in Paris.
Oh my God.
And my fucking heart like stopped.
Oh my God.
And broke because like Kaja was with me.
And just tell people who Kaja is.
Kaja is an associate of mine, and she was there doing stand-up with me, and she is of color. And she luckily didn't hear it. I was able to tell her the story like later. I don't know if she
rolled off that woman's tongue like it was like an old blanket.
That was the issue. It was so casual. It was so like she didn't even look up from her pad, meaning she probably wrote it like that.
She was just waiting for an excuse to drop it. She was just excited about it.
Like just very off the cuff. Okay, so you know, like it was just another ingredient on the menu order and a barbecue sauce.
That's the thing, man. Like you get insulated when you're around. If you don't like. I get out of the house a lot, and I meet a lot of people, and especially when you live in a major city, you're going to meet all different kinds of people. But A, you don't have to leave the house. B, you don't have to surround yourself with different types of people, and a lot of people don't take it upon themselves to do so, or they just don't have the opportunity to do so. And you just forget that there's a whole big world out there, or you don't give a shit that there is. And then there's no repercussion. Like that woman, probably the guy that hired her is the same way.
Yeah, but the funniest part about it was that she added it. Like I said, N-words in Paris.
She's like, no, we say it down here.
She not only added it, she didn't even use the A. She like added it and then added the ER onto it.
Awful.
Which is extra stupid.
Awful.
And you went way out of your way to make sure that you said the word to two people who are definitely in a position to complain, but I promise you she didn't give it a second thought. She wasn't trying to be a jerk or whatever. She was just like, oh yeah, this is what you want.
Yeah, it was just, she was just excited to say it.
Anyway.
Go ahead. And so now this girl is so she's in the same sort of neighborhood out there, right? Alabama?
They're probably cousins.
Oh, boy.
I don't know. I'm being a jerk. But all right, anyway, so after about a week of pushback, I guess Laura Lee puts out an apology video, which I have some thoughts on, and she's like crying in it. I'll show you a few seconds of it just because it's worth looking at, but we won't tear it apart too much.
So sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry for disappointing you.
Oh my God.
Ugh.
It hurts me so bad.
And the Oscar does not go to
disappoint you all who have supported me for so many years.
Oh my God.
So
that's like take 19.
I had the same reaction you did.
Ugh.
I had the same reaction you did, which was like, wow, this feels very contrived. Very contrived. Also, you create content. I create content, and you've been doing it for whatever. I've been doing it for over a decade.
Yeah.
So, and you edited videos.
Yep.
So you know what it takes to put out a video. And we're not talking about live streams. I'll give you credit if it's a live stream. But you know, people at home, you don't know what effort goes in to taking a video. It's like to making a video and then putting it out. Like you sit down, you turn on the camera, you perform, you put it in editing, you edit for like hours at a time. And if it's a short edit, maybe 30 minutes. But regardless, you're staring at your own face. Then you export it and then you upload it live. Which means, and so I always think about this when people put out videos, produced videos of themselves crying. That means they started crying, okay? Because this girl was crying when the camera was started. So that means she started crying, set up her camera, turned it on, so that it started recording in the middle of her cry.
It's just fake.
Performed it. Did the thing.
Yeah.
Then stopped the camera, put it into her computer, and watched her own, like, because everyone has an ugly cry face. Watched her own ugly cry face for potentially hours as she's editing this video. And at some point, you got to look at that cry face and go, yeah, this is probably not a good look for me. Maybe I should apologize with some composure.
I don't think that she doesn't have that bone in her body. It's very obvious from the tweets, and it's very obvious from you can just smell that it's inauthentic fake. Right away.
Yeah, it just has that written all over it. And even if it didn't feel fake, the process that you have to go through to produce a video would suggest that everyone who's cried on camera and it hasn't been live has been full of shit, especially when you're self-editing.
Well,
And I know that's a blanket statement, but I think about that.
Tough. Yeah, I understand that. I mean, I understand the importance of people wanting to see that you're emotionally affected by something and being like, well, if I break up on this camera, like I remember a couple of videos when some famous YouTubers who were a famous couple, they announced that they were breaking up.
Yeah.
And that read is completely authentic and completely, I don't know, it was hard to watch.
Was it one take?
I don't know if it was one take. They had jumps in it, and they like cut to the end of, they cut to after where they had sort of composed themselves, and you see it. But it just, there's like a flavor you can tell where it's authentic. It's like a weird lizard brain kind of nerve. That is not.
I get it.
And I imagine how she is in other things. You know what I mean? Like, gosh. That was just awful.
I don't know anything about her.
She
so I don't know
should have
how
just
she is
typed
in
it
other
out.
things.
She should have just typed it and like read it.
But I get what you're saying when you say that it's like lizard, like it's our human lizard brain. I don't know if I've talked to you about this, about how I feel like humans have this innate sensibility to tell when other humans are being like 97% human.
Well, no,
like even that little 3%. Yeah. And it's like when you look at you see this a lot in LA. You see one of those older women who's had like work done just a little bit, and you can like tell.
Yeah.
And it like throws you off because you're like, is this person is like 96% human, and the rest of it's plastic, and I can just see it.
It's scientific. It's animals. It's definitely when you, as an animal, you're reading everything. You're reading, and you don't even know that you are, but like physical, like body language and rehearsed tones, like that squeaky voice of her like trying to act like she's really scared, but then hitting that same sort of note over and over and over again, crying with no tears. I mean, that might as well be a Duran Duran song. But like, crying with no tears.
Oh, the high pitched thing is my favorite.
I'm so sorry.
I hope.
I'm so sorry.
I hope.
I feel bad because we're making fun of a person crying,
but she's not crying.
It's insane.
She's not crying. I hope that Songify does like a those guys, the Gregory brothers. They do Songify the news.
Yeah.
I hope they do a.
I doubt they would.
I know they're so nice.
Yeah. Then I feel like they would be too nice. But
I know.
Yeah, man. It's that fucking. It's not. She's looking. 90 whatever percent. Not 100% human right there. Yeah. It's a conspiracy, bro.
It's the lovely thing.
It's a conspiracy.
The friggin' frog's gay.
Oh no!
Do you understand that?
Oh god!
I'm sick of being social engineered.
Every time there's a conspiracy, I'm gonna play that.
It is the lovely thing about the internet, though. I hope that she did. I hope that there's not a lot of ways to reach people like that.
Yeah.
Who are very self-centered and sometimes immune to empathy. They're not able to feel how other people feel by their actions. But the wonderful thing about the internet is when you have a completely self-centered, selfish person, if their viewership goes down or their views go down or their subscriber base goes down, it's like hitting a rich guy in the wallet. It's beautiful because that's the really only way to snatching that girl's celebrity away. Mm-hmm. Is maybe the only thing that's going to teach her.
Put the fear of Jesus in her.
Put the fear of Jesus. The fear of Jesus.
We got burger, we got fries, we got fear of Jesus.
So I hope that she does learn something. I hope that it does change her, and I'm glad that the internet is able to do that. It really can humble you.
Yeah.
And fast, real quick. So
I think she has. I was reading that she has her own makeup line and some of these other things. So she got a lot going on, and congrats on her success. And I think ultimately, if she doesn't like give up and quit and really like bow down to the backlash, I think she'll ultimately be fine.
I think so, too. She
has formally apologized, which is really the most you can ask someone in this position to do. Now, I get that we feel the apology's fake, and maybe it is, but she did it. She went through the motions, did the thing. She can always fall back on it and be like, look, I apologized. Yeah. It was years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else she could really do at this point, other than like keep moving forward with your career and keep in touch with your fan base, keep checking in.
Yeah. I think you got to change. I think for her, she's got to change a little bit of her approach to things. I haven't watched any of her. The thing that happens is when it's revealed that someone tweets things like that.
Yeah.
Then you go back and you watch all of the other content that they make, and you're looking at it through the lens of,
yeah,
oh, wait a minute. So any comment that might be questionable, or you're like, that wouldn't really raise an eyebrow at first, now you go, oh, wait a minute. It's just right underneath the surface is that horrible joke about Chinese people or whatever. So she's going to have to really earn people's trust back. And that, I think, is going to take her altering the way she approaches things in general. So,
well, let me just get this out really quick. I want to formally apologize for anything that I may have tweeted or said in any video ever up until today. And tomorrow I'll give a new apology, because that means today will be in the past. Because I have no idea. I'm doing this 11 years. I have no idea what shit that I said in the past that was funny at the time.
Yeah.
Because everything I've done has worked to some degree.
Yeah.
But it's probably not funny in 2018. No idea. I definitely haven't tweeted any shit like that, like what she did. No fucking way.
Yeah.
But I imagine in 2025, any of my old jokes are just not going to fly.
We forgive you, Ray.
Even me saying the N-word on this podcast in the context of that story may not fly in 10 years.
You might be right. You know what? I hope not, because that would mean that it has become unacceptable to even reference that word, and people have accepted that.
Well, but
I just think they need to have. Anyway, that's
and you see why I needed to use it that way in order to make the story work.
Yeah.
Because if it's N-word, it doesn't work.
Not going to work.
It's comedy, people. Come on. Okay, I got another good one for you.
You do?
Check this out. Oh, it's a doozy.
It's a doozy?
It's a doozy.
Even bigger? Great.
No, I wouldn't say bigger, but definitely it's hilarious.
I love that you just throw me these things.
Sorry, when I say hilarious, I'm being sarcastic, and I hope that reads.
Yeah.
So so we got a new challenge. We got the new,
God.
We had the Kiki challenge, the ice bucket challenge. Now we got the Tide Pod challenge. Now we got the fire challenge.
Oh no.
So the fire challenge is this internet craze that, the media pushes it as if it's been sweeping the nation, but who knows what the fuck that means. But, you put rubbing alcohol or something flammable on some part of your body, and then you light it, and you're on fire for a few seconds, and then you put it out. And you film yourself doing it and upload it, and I guess, get famous is the final step.
Oh, my God.
And so people are doing this, and it was in the headlines yesterday that there's a 12-year-old girl who did this. And she was burned on 50% of her body. She caught fire. She came running down the stairs. According to her mother, she was completely on fire, and her mother had to get the fire extinguisher and blanket towels and stuff to put her out. She's still in intensive care.
That's awful.
Yeah, I know.
That's all. And the worst thing about that is I did that when I was a kid.
I had friends. I watched my friends do it. I didn't do it.
I did that stupid shit when I was a kid. The difference is it doesn't spread like wildfire because of social media.
Really? You're making jokes now, Lloyd?
I'm not making jokes.
You're giving us your best
right
material.
There.
No, I'm fucking with you.
I remember doing that dumb shit.
Yeah.
We did so much dumb shit as a kid.
Stupid stuff.
But it could stay insulated because you didn't have the ability, all the dumb kids from every school didn't have the ability to connect. You know what I mean? So they didn't gain any momentum.
We were dumb in small numbers. It was different.
Dumb. We would do that, put rubbing alcohol on our jeans and light our pants on fire like we were some sort of stuntman from the Fall Guy or something. And yeah, and I remember my dad was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" What? And that's when you feel like, I feel like that's when it's okay to smack a kid upside the head.
Yeah,
you're being a moron right now.
Yeah, and you don't want to call a kid stupid, but when they're lighting themselves on fire,
stupid.
Call your kid stupid. Hey, you're stupid.
Wow. Well, hopefully. Oh man, I feel so bad for this girl.
I know.
Careful.
And the fact that it actually did hurt some, because when you see a video of someone doing this, you look at them and you go, that's why aliens won't visit us, and that's I want the sort of Darwinism of all of this to take effect.
Yeah.
And you catch yourself on fire, and then all the stupid people will be eliminated. So you think these things when you see it on video. You want them to get hurt. And then when a 12-year-old kid gets hurt, you go, oh yeah.
Yeah. No,
that's why you don't want people to get hurt. It's awful. It's tragic.
That's how Richard Pryor lit his hair on fire. Richard Pryor, the famous comedian. I don't know. Hopefully you guys know who Richard Pryor is. But
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Roughly, vaguely.
Big drug addict. He was a huge drug addict.
Yeah, he was a cokehead.
But he was watching
it's
the
horrible
news.
to describe him that way, but yeah.
Well, I mean, that was one part of him. He was a terrible drug addict.
Right.
But he was watching the news about the Buddhist monks in Vietnam, in Saigon, who were lighting themselves on fire in protest. So like the cover of the Rage Against the Machine album, where it's just these guys on fire. He was watching that on the news, and then he just dumped alcohol on his head and lit himself on fire because he was, drugged out of his mind. And it's the running down the hall because the air.
Yeah, the oxygen.
Oxygen.
It, yeah.
And he just burnt himself all over the body. He should have died. Supposedly he was supposed to have, should have killed him.
Yeah.
And probably because of who he is, he had all the best doctors and, immediate care. But yeah, it was just, your brain does funny things when you see something happen and you go, oh, maybe I could try that. And then it's not what you think.
And he wasn't 12.
And he was not 12.
No, he was an adult. Wow.
This poor girl, man.
Wow.
Well, I hope she does better. I hope she's doing well and survives. And
yeah.
Wow, my heart goes out to her.
That was the
Don't
difference.
light yourself on fire, kids. Not cool.
When we were kids and doing dumb shit, we couldn't film ourselves doing it.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. No, I did so much dumb shit. Here's the dumb shit we used to do.
Go for it.
We used to do that thing where you hyperventilate and then someone squeezes your lungs and then you pass out.
Oh, yeah, we did that.
I did that in my 6th grade class and had a fucking seizure in the middle of the floor. Could you imagine what a teacher must feel? She walked into the room. Could you imagine?
You were having a seizure and she walked in.
I was on the floor flopping around.
Oh my God.
Because we thought that was fun, and it was. You got lightheaded and it didn't hurt. You just forget.
I'm sure it was a riot to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm sure the entire class was like, this is incredible.
But can you imagine what a teacher must be thinking? She walks in, there's a crowd of kids, like a circle. She left for 5 minutes. We were like hooligans. And then there's one kid, the charismatic, popular short kid, is on the ground like fucking alien style, flopping around on the ground. This woman must have had a heart attack. We did that thing where you would take an eraser and just I still have a scar on my hand today where you would erase your skin and then just make marks on yourself.
We would do that.
And now I'm spreading it on a podcast. Don't do these children.
This is bad.
Don't do these things.
And if you do, don't film yourself.
Oh my God.
What if there were footage of you floating around of a 12-year-old Lloyd
flopping around? I want to
having
apologize.
a seizure.
If any tweets of me have gone back in time to get that footage, I apologize. I was a dumb kid.
Oh my God.
What a dumb thing to do.
Okay. So it is time.
Make it! I'll bring it!
So, guys, you know what time it is. It's time to play Make It or Break It, a game where I present you with a hypothetical relationship scenario, and you have to decide whether you want to make it work or break it off. So, you meet the perfect person. You've been dating for 2 or 3 months. It's going great. You think this is going to go somewhere.
Yep.
And then you find out that she, on multiple occasions, and will also do in the future, fake cries on camera.
Done.
Me too.
Done.
Me too.
Could you imagine what she's like in bed? If you fake cry on camera, could you imagine? That's a very shallow thing of me to say, but that's right where my brain went. But could you imagine?
She's probably amazing in bed.
I don't
First
know.
of all, because she's
just
dramatic.
inauthenticity, or imagine if you in a moment of when you really needed somebody to be sympathetic, and she's like, ah. Poor babe, some fake tone. Oh, I couldn't live with that. I couldn't live with that.
I couldn't either. It was a pretty clear cut in my head when I came up with it. Of there's no way. The second I saw her fake cry on camera, I would probably have some kind of sit down with her. Listen, baby, you can't. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but let me tell you what to do. You can't do this. This is wrong.
Yeah.
You can't. You can't deceive the human race with fake emotions like that. This isn't a white lie. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
What you did in the past was horrible and racist, and now you're pretending to care more than you do.
Yeah.
No.
And you're using, hopefully, I mean, God forbid if she monetized the video.
I don't even want to know. I hope not. I don't even want to know. But that's a whole other level of awful.
Or put follow me on Twitter in the description. Could you imagine?
Follow me on Twitter, or no, maybe even at the end, she's like, oh, "Could you guys subscribe?"
Yeah, I want to say this though. I want to say it wouldn't work out. The relationship wouldn't work out. And even though we have harsh opinions about this woman, I don't want people to go to her site and give her hate or anything like that.
No, don't do that.
That's never a good thing.
No, I don't want any of these people we talk about to kill themselves and then it come back on us. No, let me scratch that second part. I don't want. I stop at kill themselves. I don't want anyone who we talk about to kill themselves. Period. I don't.
Fair.
It coming back on us.
Solid statement.
Yeah, is secondary to I don't want anyone to feel worse about their behavior, but it's ultimately going to happen when you talk about stuff. But don't. Yeah, not trying to put anyone down.
Yeah,
I definitely think this situation could have been handled better in the past and present. Yeah. And also, I wouldn't date anyone who had done that thing.
Yeah,
not at all.
couldn't do it.
Sorry. Couldn't make it work.
I'm sure you'll find someone very lovely.
So you had a story this week.
Yes. Oh man, this is a. So apparently Sunday, I missed the apparently kid. Apparently that Ellen kid.
Apparently.
So apparently last Sunday, this girl in New York City named Natasha Aponte got 100 guys or like dozens of guys. She matched with them all on Tinder, and she tricked them into all going into Union Square in New York City. And so under the guise of, hey, let's meet at this date, or hey, let's meet at this place and we'll go on there. But she got them all to come to Union Square.
To pretend to date, go on a date.
Yeah, like they matched on Tinder, and then they came to Union Square. And so instead of having a date with this woman, she had a stage set up with security guards and microphones, and she got all these guys in like basically like this theater outside.
Okay.
And then she started to eliminate them like Hunger Games style without them knowing what was going to happen on video. And she wrapped it under a guise of, it's a social experiment to show how difficult it is.
Let's show a picture of this thing going on. So her.
This is her on the stage.
That's her there on the stage, and those are the guys who showed up and are listening to her.
Yeah. And she starts off by saying, you know, hey, it's so hard to date on Tinder that we're going to make this social experiment to show that as an example. So just anybody out there, we're going to start eliminating them. So she starts eliminating these guys. She's like, anybody who thinks you can date a Puerto Rican and be a Trump supporter, please leave. Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm not a big Trump supporter either. I could totally see that.
Okay.
Then she started going into things like, hey, anybody out there who was in a relationship and then just broke up, if you're the one who did the breaking up, stay. But if the girl broke up with you, leave.
Oh,
because I trust the girl. Yeah, it gets better. Then she started going into anybody who is fat, please leave. No guys named Jimmy. I don't like Jimmys.
Well, she's not wrong.
Then she got down to anybody who's under 5'7", which I'm sure you and I would appreciate a lot.
Oh, my God.
And it was just like the most awful. And then when she narrowed it down to like, I don't know, a section of that after these like pretty awful contingencies, then she made these guys do like physical challenges. Like she had like a sprinting race and like all this stuff. And it was just like.
How many guys stayed for that?
I don't know why you would stay, but enough of them stayed. I mean, normal people, if you put cameras up and they think it's going to be their little time in the sun or whatever, I think they stay sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I might have stayed to see the results. I'm not trying to like run a race.
Yeah.
The second I go on a date and she's like, well, like if I'm about to go on a date and she's like, let's go hiking, I'm like, done.
Yeah.
Done with you. Like that's two things I get really annoyed with, which is going on first dates and walking uphill, and you're going to combine them. No, thank you.
Let's do some push-ups. Let's go to the gym.
No shit. Like, what is this hiking? Let's go eat.
Worst first dates. But I just think it's so ridiculous that so they wrapped it. The same guy who helped her with this video is the guy who his name is Rob Bliss, and he did this social experiment with a woman walking down New York City where she was getting catcalled.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
but this one is gross. It was like, could you imagine if a guy stood up there and did that to women in front of, like, publicly humiliating them?
Yeah,
these guys didn't ask for that. They didn't, and then they're being treated like, hey, she's like, if you're under 5'7", raise your hand, or if you have a beer belly, or if you're fat, or whatever, raise your hand. Like, she's eliminating these guys in front of each other.
What point are they trying to? First of all, I haven't, because I'm very particular with where and how I spend my time. And with who and what I do. So wasting people's time for your entertainment bothers me immediately.
Yeah.
But what was the point they were trying to make with this, like, social experiment? Like, what were they going to get out of it?
Maybe that, like, it's how difficult and cutthroat the dating scene is. Maybe.
Yeah, we all know that.
Yeah, we all know that.
We all know that people are superficial, especially on dating apps. Like, we get it.
Yeah.
You didn't have to, like,
embarrass these dudes
and make
in
them
front
feel
of
like
themselves.
shit.
Yeah, and like this is what I hate about disclaimers, because at the top she goes, just let everybody know you're on camera. So if you don't want to be on camera, just leave. I just came from fucking Staten Island on the train down here.
You got a camera in my face?
You know what I mean? I had something to do today. What if a guy is like really lonely and decided like he's going to skip his cousin's wedding or something to come down and do this thing? Like, that's like not an excuse to just tell people like, oh, by the way, I'm a dick.
Right.
Sorry about it.
Yeah. I totally agree.
And there's, I think there's some of their response was like, well, what about The Bachelor or The Bachelorette? You know, it's like, well, those are fucking TV shows,
right?
Where people audition, not only ask to be on an audition, they know what's going on.
Yeah, beforehand. They're not tricked. You don't get tricked into going on The Bachelor. Oh shit, I'm on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
What is this rose? Oh,
yeah.
I'm winning. No, that doesn't happen.
There's video of it. There's like some video of the way she sort of just like throws these things out. If you're this, if you're that, just leave. It's just like blood curdling that. And I just hate the fact that because she's like an Instagram model or whatever.
Yeah, let's get a picture. Yeah. I did not that one. There she is.
You know, and it's like,
you think they could have found a better press photo?
Maybe, yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's not. It's like super sexual. But,
yeah. Well, probably that's probably.
You think that's probably by design? Okay.
I would think so.
Okay. I mean, you think it'd be like a headshot? Oh, this is the actress that was involved. And
I think if this was a man, if this was a woman who wasn't pretty, if this was like there's so many other things that like would just get roasted right away. And this girl it's kind of being criticized heavily, so I'm happy about that. It's just I don't think you should think that you can get away with that. You shouldn't. That's awful to do to people in a public setting. It's just upsetting.
Well, even if you take gender out of the equation, what if she had said, "If you're black, leave"?
Yeah, I mean
that would be horrible.
What's the difference? Like I'm 5'5", and I feel like short jokes and like making fun of people's height is something that's sort of socially acceptable, and I never want to be that, you know, like a little bitch. Who's like always there's going to be something people can attach to you or whatever, but like. Yeah, you apply that to any other. Yeah, you apply it to their race. You apply it to their weight. It gets worse.
Oh yeah.
You apply it to their. If you're ugly, look around. If you think you're ugly, leave. Like you know what I mean. Like, so why is it okay to like be? And you've told me this too. But like people are like vicious about height on social media.
Women are really we'll just call it straightforward about height on dating apps. Like they'll put it right in their bio. Must be this tall. And it's rampant. It's not like one or two, you know, women with an attitude. It's like, it feels like maybe 50%.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm so glad I never had to deal with that.
And it's never like, must be taller than 5'2". It's never that. It's like always 5'11" and up.
No short guys.
Or no short guys. That's another thing.
No guys named Jimmy?
No guys named Jimmy. That's pretty funny.
That's so funny.
That's pretty funny. Because that's so absurd, it can't be real.
Yeah.
Everything else feels a little bit real.
Yeah, I mean, I think she was literally going to go on a date with the guy at the end. Like, that was what the whole deal was. Like, she's single. She actually matched with these guys on Tinder and brought them down. It's like, man, you shouldn't be able to get away with that.
Maybe he'll hit it and quit it and be our hero.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because that was the weird thing was at the beginning, she was saying things that was more acceptable to me. She said the thing about Trump, which I'm like, all right, some people don't like it.
Political, yeah.
But she said, hey, look, if you're looking for just a quick hookup or something that's not going to lead to a relationship, take off.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's fine. And maybe that's where the social experiment of it was supposed to be, where like she gets worse and worse and worse to exemplify how people are on these dating apps. But again, don't do it in front of my friends. You know what I mean? Don't use. There's no reason why you couldn't have used plants for that. You know what I mean?
Like actors?
Actors. You know what I mean?
Or like literal
plants.
Foliage.
If you're a ficus, leave.
Yeah.
If your roots aren't all the way deep, leave.
Make like a tree.
Oh God.
And leave.
Yeah. So man, that's the world we live in nowadays, where those are the type of things that are happening. The ice bucket challenge, which was such a great thing, has turned into lighting yourself on fire.
Yes.
And Match.com, which was a savior for a lot of people, like people who live in areas where you can't meet people, has now turned into,
you know, divorce. A lot of divorcees would get on Match and some of these, or would get on dating sites, and it was easier for them to find, you know, older people would be easier for them to find one another. Yeah. They don't get out like
small town people who are like, don't go to social events and things like that.
Yeah.
And now it's turned into social experiments in the middle of you. Yeah.
Into wasting their time. Jesus. Okay. I think that means it's time.
Oh, yes.
To crown a king. Okay, so this one's pretty easy. We have Laura Lee with her racist tweets and seemingly inauthentic apology video. We have the girl who did the fire challenge and lit herself on fire. And then, of course, we have the young woman who tricked all of the guys to show up to the park.
Wow. This is like a competition of the shiniest of three turds. Not the girl lighting herself on fire is not terrible, but the fact that that's happening.
Yeah, that's I totally
can't really
agree.
give that the king. I can't give that the king. That's awful. I guess I'm gonna have to give the best of the worst. I'm gonna give the best of the. I'm gonna have to give the best of the worst to Natasha Aponte for bringing all those guys down there. I know it's at least the other girl, it was her own fate, and she sealed her own fate, and she's trying to take responsibility for it in the best way she knows how. And she insulted a lot of people by what she said, but it's hopefully fleeting and hopefully won't affect anybody. But bringing people and then embarrassing them on camera, to me is more personal, more divisive, and more invasive.
Yes.
So I'm going to have to give the king or the queen to Natasha.
I would also crown Natasha, although I would say Laura Lee comes in a close second.
Yeah.
Because she did apologize. She did go through the motions. And I think there can be retribution in shitty old tweets. I think, look, it's in 2018. We live in, it's 2018. Donald Trump is president.
Yeah.
Anything is fucking redeemable.
Yeah.
Like, people are people. Let them fuck up and then own their fuck ups. And then they can redeem themselves. So I would give her a close second.
Close second.
Yeah, maybe also the jester.
Yeah, maybe she gets the jester.
Maybe she gets the jester.
It's hard to go either way on that challenge because there's no good to come of that.
Yes.
You know,
I totally agree. And I want to leave the 12-year-old girl who burned herself alive out of it.
Sending her good vibes
yes,
as much as we can.
Definitely. Because she is just being 12. Okay, so let's call it. As we say every week, it's really hot here in the summer. In August in Southern California, we have air conditioner in this little unit that we film in. But when we run the air conditioner, you can obviously hear it in the microphone, so we don't run it when we're doing the podcast.
Can you hear us sweating? You can hear us sweating.
I can definitely hear the sweat. Just dripping, just oozing out of my pores. It sounds like a faucet. Well, hopefully, like Niagara Falls.
If all you guys are out there in hot places, you will be with us in spirit on
absolutely
on how hot it is.
And don't forget the big announcement that we had this week is that we finally started a YouTube page. We would love for you guys to go check it out. Go be the first comment or the second comment or whatever if you haven't already.
Yeah,
we have a bit.ly link. It's bit.ly/Kings of Influence. bit.ly/Kings of Influence. Over on YouTube. That's us.
That's us. Thank you guys very much for listening. We're the Kings of Influence. We're here every Wednesday at noon for the live stream, and then we upload it to all podcast platforms and now to YouTube, like Ray was just saying. I, as always, am your co-host, Epic Lloyd.
I'm Ray William Johnson.
And that's this week. Thank you guys for watching very much.